man.
This is a great segue. So if you'll take a minute with me, and maybe we can talk about some, sorry, I was losing my power here.
No worries.
Some vegan red flags.
Oui. Let's do it.
So Bobby, tell me about some points in your vegan journey when you had body sensations or experiences or results or lack of results that like triggered red flags for you that, hey, I'm not doing so well. Maybe this isn't working. Maybe I should consider doing something that's good for my health to stop me from going further down the spiral. But you suppressed it and just kept marching on.
Yeah, so for that I have to rewind actually before veganism, because before going vegan I gave vegetarianism a shot. And just when I went vegetarian, the first thing was I went out with my friends, and back then I was still drinking. First thing that I noticed is I got, for the first time in my life, I experienced a blackout, which I never had before. Never before. I'm not saying drink and because you're eating meat you're going to be better off drinking, that's not my point, but somehow my response to alcohol was absolutely weakened. So then, a couple of weeks later, still vegetarian, I went to jiu-jitsu practice, and this is when I felt extreme fatigue like never before, and I tore my meniscus and a hernia popped out, right, whilst working out. Now you could say, yeah, that is just coincidence, could happen to anybody. My body didn't feel like it used to. Then after that injury, I went back to pescatarianism, and I recovered straight away and felt so much better. But I didn't reflect upon that incident, right? So later on, going vegan now. Yeah, veganism in the beginning, absolutely great, felt good. But the first red flag was essentially that I was losing weight like crazy, that I had to amplify my protein intake and basically, eat at least 150% of my regular protein intake that I was using animal-based. So just rapid weight loss. That was the first one.
How much weight did you lose?
I lost 15 kilos straight away. Okay. And I was lean. So I was just losing muscle. Yeah, 15 kilograms, that is, I don't know what that is in pounds. Yeah, that was another thing. Then, always cold. But the thing is, I just accepted that. I totally accepted it, that I'm always cold. I completely ignored that. Always cold. The only place that I felt alright was obviously in Thailand, in the tropics. Other than that, constantly freezing. That was another red flag. Another one, that's actually the worst, to be honest, and I don't know how I cope with that because I love food. Constantly starving. After every single meal, just this insatiable hunger, always starving, always being depressed when not eating. And food became the highlight of my day. Whilst eating, I experienced a little bit of happiness. After the meal, I wouldn't be satisfied at all, super hungry, and just waiting for the next meal, preparing the next meal, shopping for the next meal, and whatnot. So that was definitely, should have been a red flag, that I completely ignored. Because now looking back, I can tell you that that is just the craving for micronutrients that you cannot satisfy with macros. You can chuck down sugar as much as you want to. Nothing will ever happen if you don't satisfy those micronutrient needs. That was another one. What else was there? Yeah, how about sensitive teeth, right? Yeah, that should have done it. Shit, man, there's so many. I was in excruciating pain for months. In the end, I will never forget that. I was sitting on my bed. My whole head was inflamed because the roots, they got so inflamed that it took over into the whole nervous system and my face got almost paralyzed. Yeah, it was fucking terrible. And I was going from doctor to doctor. They were telling me, as I said in the beginning, that I have the gums of a 70-year-old, that my teeth are completely decaying, that there are cavities everywhere. But yeah, I blamed it on, I don't even know what anymore. Maybe a little bit too much fruits or so. Maybe I should reduce the sugar. So yeah, that was a big red flag. Another one, shit, the list doesn't end. Again, performance-wise, my performance just steadily decreased, and my body composition. You know, people see pictures of me, videos, and they say, yeah, but you were in great shape as a vegan, you know, what went wrong? The thing is, yes, I was in good shape in the end, but you cannot understand how much effort I had to put into just maintaining that body. It was ridiculous. Every morning I would get up and do 2 hours of cardio. I would run for 2 hours. Then I would have just rice and protein powder. Then in the gym, I would feel like killing myself. I was getting depressed every single workout session. No muscle contraction, no pump. It just felt like you were contracting the muscle and there was no contraction happening. It felt like bending your finger, not like pumping up arms or anything. No pump, no blood flow, absolute terrible performance, steady decline. I felt like I hit, I don't know, 50, 60 years or something on those lines. You know, and that happened when I was in my mid-20s, basically.
Quick question. Yeah. Did you take creatine?
Yeah, that is a great question, because I took creatine and that helped with performance, of course. But I found that because I'm not eating red meat, I was actually supplementing in the end in the morning, after the workout, sometimes before the workout. So I had to heavily supplement with creatine as well, just to feel somewhat okay. But I never did. You know, that's the thing, Victor. I didn't experience pleasure in the gym. And maybe that doesn't sound crazy to people, because many people, they don't experience pleasure in the gym because it's just not for them. I know people that rather sit on the couch, and that is cool. But for me, I was an athlete all my life. I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. I would go into the gym and I would get depressed. I couldn't wait to leave the gym and pick up stretching or yoga or something on those lines.
Yeah. For people like us, like when I go in the gym, I'm just like, I'm so stoked to be in the gym. I love lifting. And I love lifting dynamically. And I love lifting heavy.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, like that snap, that drive, something's off.
Yeah. Yeah. It is like as if somebody cut off my feet, you know, and I'm a runner or something on those lines. It was absolute craziness. So yeah, steady decline in performance. Another red flag should have been, that happened last year. I would go to the doctors here in Thailand because of my ailments with my teeth. And I don't know why they do it here in Thailand, but they always take your blood pressure, right? They always do it, like a little health checkup whilst you're waiting. It is routine here. And they would take my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was, I'm not kidding you, this is no joke, it was 50 with 30. Right? Yeah, exactly. So normal blood pressure, if I'm not mistaken, is around about 120 to 60 or something on those lines, or 120 to 80, I believe.
Yeah.
Mine was 50 to 30.
Yeah.
Cold, brain fog, felt like I was half dead. And that's what the nurses thought as well. They would ask me, are you all right? Do you feel dizzy? Are you okay? Because if you measure my blood pressure, that essentially meant that I was basically dying. And I was drinking coffee. I could drink like 3 or 4 coffees just to amplify my pulse a little bit. Nothing was happening. I was just decaying. Yeah, that was another red flag. Then libido loss, of course. I would have sex, and during sex, I would completely doze off. I would think about food. I would think about just watching cartoons.
I'm laughing, but it's
please, you should laugh about this. Yeah,
that's just terrible.
I'm laughing myself nowadays. It's crazy. I don't know how I stuck with it. And yeah, so I was fantasizing about food. I was fantasizing about watching series whilst having sex. Absolutely no interest in sex anymore. Absolute libido loss, completely destroyed. But the funny thing is, I measured my testosterone levels, and they seemed to be all right. You know, the blood test came back, and it seemed okay. So what was that about? You know, so that's the thing. You cannot even trust the blood test. It doesn't mean that if your testosterone is in range, you will have good libido. There's so many other factors there.
Yeah.
It could be because I'm just philosophizing here. It could be because your body is in starvation mode, so to speak. It just doesn't want to reproduce, but it wants to nourish itself first before creating offspring. That could be a biological mechanism in the background. Who knows? Anyways, ignore that as well. So there I am, tooth decay, weak in the gym, depression kicks in, anxiety, brain fog, overall weakness, fatigue, libido loss, as I said. Yeah, and I still somehow didn't realize what was going on. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Did you have any like weird social red flags, like any of the other vegans you interacted with, or anything like that? And I say that because I had one or two times where I felt like I was listening to someone else, and I had the distinct notion that yeah, yeah, and I believed them, and then I was like, no, that's crazy. What are you doing? Like there was a voice inside my head that's like, no, you're not still detoxing. Like, don't listen to this, this coach, this guru,
Mm.
I just wonder if other people have those experiences where they're counting on others who have more experience than them to guide them, and there's something in their mind that's saying, hey, hold on a second, and that's one of the reasons why I keep on doing this too, because there's so many people that keep pushing the agenda when they're clearly not doing well.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's an interesting point. So first off, yeah, I encountered that, of course, listening to people and just wondering what they're doing. Maybe it is their 30th time on a water fast or a juice fast, or now they decide to drink their own urine or whatever. Of course, you always have those cases in the vegan community where you just wonder what is going on. But the reason why I personally promoted veganism still, and I didn't feel right on it, was because I truly believed in it, and I thought that there might be a possibility for an external factor. So I said to myself, maybe I overdid it back in the day when I was a fruitarian. Maybe I'm still recovering from that. Or maybe it is the water supply in Bangkok, Thailand that fucks up my gut. Happens to many people. A friend just came down today. He has explosive diarrhea. He's vegan as well, by the way. But he blames it on the Thai water supply, right? Because in Germany, it was all right. So anyways, that was my thought pattern as well. And I believe that many people have that too. Because what I see in the vegan community is that aside from diet, there's so many other factors that they're trying to optimize. Be it cold showers, be it the morning routine, yoga, alkalizing the body through breath work and whatnot, right? There's always something that they can, not really pinpoint which factor it might be now. They never think about their diet, you know what I mean? It could be this, could be that, could be and such. And that's what happened to me as well back in the day. And this is why I believe people promote it. I don't think that everybody is disingenuous per se, but I believe that they just have so much other factors that are distracting them from the core issue, which is their shitty diet.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that everybody's doing that, but I certainly think there is a large problem with disingenuine people in the vegan community for sure.
100%. Do you want to elaborate? I mean, not naming anybody necessarily, but your experience with people that are pretending to be vegan or pretended to be vegan?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think everybody knows somebody who's, been saying they're this or that, and then somebody walks in and finds them eating macaroni and cheese in a restaurant. This has happened many times. Or, they're getting fish tacos on the side, and they're claiming their athletic performance is from, eating a vegan diet, and certainly not the fish tacos. Or they're taking, they're all vegan, but they are taking some fish oil supplements just to make sure that they get the long chain, fatty acids, but they're not really reporting that. It happens a lot. And it kind of bums me out that having a more open conversation and maybe kind of finding some actual resolve about, like, what can we do as a human species to, to treat animals right, to have better environmental, causes and awareness, and all these kind of things, instead of this deception, and pretending. And I don't know.
No,
I don't want to get off on a negative tangent with that, because I do think there are some very good people in the vegan movement, but it concerns me that they're dragging people into a dangerous situation,
Of course. Of course. And on the other hand, it would align with the science, if you will, at least the science that is somewhat representative of that plant-based diet can be healthful for some people. But those plant-based diets are not vegan. So therefore, what you see with those people that are thriving on a vegan diet, they're cheating anyways with other foods. So they're supplementing with fish oil, they're eating fish. I know that myself. I know many big YouTubers who talk to me in private, and I'm not going to expose anybody, but I know for a fact, believe it or not, that they're not vegan. They're eating certain animal products. So therefore, that just confirms the actual science that a plant-based diet is okay. If you want to have a plant-based diet, go for it, if that is what you want. But a vegan diet doesn't work for anybody and therefore shouldn't be promoted. Because the issue, I know I'm keep repeating myself with the World Health Organization, but I have such a big issue with this because it gets promoted to babies, to children. It's very, very dangerous, and this is something that we cannot allow. We have to disclose this and talk about those issues so it doesn't get fed to babies, developing human beings. That is super dangerous.
At the very least, it should be challenged, and there should be some demand for long-term studies.